The TATI Westbrook lawsuit against Without a Crystal Ball has just been thrown out due to jurisdictional reasons, and there aren't enough people talking about the fact that this is not the first time Katie has done this. She's been sued like this before, and it was thrown out due to jurisdictional reasons. I'll go into that later. First things first, the TATI Westbrook lawsuit against Without a Crystal Ball has been dismissed on grounds of jurisdiction. For those of you that don't know what this means, it essentially means the court doesn't feel it has a legal ability to rule over the people due to what's going on. This does mean that TATI can refile in any other state she wants to, where she feels jurisdiction will be met. Also, it has nothing to do with the case itself. None of the stuff that was heard matters now. It will matter if TATI refiles. And I have some theories and explanations to that in a little bit. Right now, we're going to focus on Katie's new celebratory tweets and live streams because she's back. She's emboldened and doing her thing, something she hasn't done in a few weeks. We're going to start here. Trolls inserted themselves into my life. I received threats against me and my son for weeks. During this hate mob, there was never anyone looking at the other side that maybe what was being said about me wasn't true. It wasn't profitable for anyone to look at the truth. I want to respond to this. I did look at the other side, and I did criticize you, and I was fair looking at both sides, and I have been the entire time. It wasn't profitable at all for me to look into it. I did it because I did feel that what was happening early on was wrong, but I was very quick to tell my subscribers once I had evidence that you were also doing the same things you were accusing others of doing to you. To say no one did is just untrue. It is a lie. You are only not mentioning me because I criticized you over the actions you took. If we move up, she starts to thank people that have stuck by her. Then she turns on Emily Baker. Before we get there, she talks about how she's never been investigated by the police and talks about threats that she got and says that she was not the one doing the hacking threats or attempts. She says this, I refuse to be guilted or shamed for not being sympathetic to someone that repeatedly lied about their relationship with me and slandered me with those lies, accusing me of child and medical neglect, my husband and I, of abuse, and lied about my marriage. Kind of going a little crazy over the fact that she's not being investigated for hacking or anything else. Then she did a Q&A on her channel. Where it started out, she seemed very confident. I'm not going to play any of it, but as it got going, she started to get twice as many downvotes as upvotes. It seemed to affect her, and she got in arguments with people in the chat like she used to. It's on her vlog channel. Then she starts in on Emily Baker. I said it tonight, and I'll say it again. Emily Baker is and continues to be biased. This I don't believe. I heard her say many things that were positive towards Brown and KJ. Okay. She was clear in her dislike for me. That was her opinion. As long as she labeled it as her opinion, then I don't see a problem with that. She said it as much on Twitter multiple times and mocked me. She helped create the clown, and I think she's trying to say clown show. She has started to label her tweets to only be able to be replied to by people she follows, implying, I believe, that she's going to maybe try to sue Emily Baker. And this is ironic because she didn't win her case. It was thrown out for jurisdiction, which means that the court isn't hearing anything. Jurisdiction's the first thing. If you don't have jurisdiction, the court cannot rule or give an opinion or tell you what to do. For her to celebrate this and then start to act like this towards Emily Baker, I think it's just another expression of her jealousy or anger or angst towards Emily over her channel doing really good. So I think if you would replace Emily Baker with another creator, gaining a lot of followers and virality over the coverage, I think she would be targeting whoever had the most. Anyway, though, she says, we have dozens of tweets stored of her disparaging me, encouraging harmful lies. I've never seen Emily do this, and I've watched a good portion of her content. Suggesting I've committed crimes of perjury or destruction of evidence. Well, you're leaving out where she said it was her opinion. She was very clear. I don't think you get it, Katie. I think you can't understand these things, but which never happened. People still believe I'm going to jail because of her coverage. This was never a criminal case. I think people think you're going to jail because they believe you had something to do with the hacking. She was never interested in the truth. I do not believe that at all. I do believe Emily was interested in the truth. She isn't licensed to practice law in Tennessee, nor has she ever tried civil cases. What does this have to do with anything, though? People know this about her. She doesn't try to hide it. She's not an expert in civil law, had no business claiming to be an attorney with expertise in these filings. How did she ever claim to have expertise in these filings? I don't think that was ever a claim. I don't understand why when people make claims like this, right, that they don't link a clip. It only takes seconds to make a clip and then link it. For God's sakes, now I can't take anything you're saying with any confidence because I don't believe she did show that she had expertise in these specific filings. Not only did she disparage me, but she routinely disparaged my attorney for minor mistakes. When I watched Emily, I took it as if she was giving her opinion about the mistakes that your attorney was making. That's what I'll say. But always defended actions that were not professional on the other side. She even defended attorney targeting people that dared to question them. It's not ethical and it's disturbing. Again, I will not take any of this to heart without seeing a clip. It's just not gonna happen. I don't believe you. And it's so quick and easy to make a clip. Emily is a member of the bar. It's her ethical duty to treat counsel and officers of the court with respect. She did not treat my attorney nor the judge respectfully. With her audience referring to our judge as Babs, you should always refer to her as judge, period. This is just not true. It was a term of respect and it was a term of authority for her to treat the judge as she did. She's not in this court case. She's giving her opinion online. She has free speech. She can respond how she wants to respond. This is just wrong. The judge did not throw anything out because she didn't want to deal with it. The law was not met for jurisdiction, and every declaration was proven irrelevant to both claims of the case and jurisdiction. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Well, no, not really. I mean, yeah, you could say that every declaration was proven irrelevant to both the claims of the case and jurisdiction. No, this is not true. The claims of the case, the court didn't hear the claims of the case. The court did not concern itself with the case. The court has to meet jurisdiction, or else legally, the court cannot make any ruling. If a court did rule without jurisdiction, you don't have to listen to the court. And therefore, irrelevant to the claims of the case. Nothing about the claims of the case was handled whatsoever. Without jurisdiction, the case goes bye-bye. Everything that was filed, everything that was put out, can now be put out in another state and be weighed against the case. I don't know what that means. Also, I found this interesting. She's sharing old videos, taking shots at Dustin Daly and others who have commented on this issue. So it's almost like she's doing that thing she does where she tries to jump on commentators now that she feels that she has a win or some confidence, but that's my opinion. So then she says this: after more than a year of constant harassment on Twitter, Twitter is finally removing accounts that have been harassing me. Did something recently change with their policies? Now, somebody else comes in to say, where is it? Twitter didn't remove a lot of the people that were critical of her. They left Twitter on their own because Twitter is a toxic cesspool. As T-Spiracy said, Twitter is the armpit of the internet and you should run far away from it. Twitter is the cesspool of the internet. But I also believe some people are upset with the outcome of this case, and that's why they have left Twitter or stopped covering this or changed their accounts. I don't know who has left for other reasons or who hasn't, but that's just my opinion. Okay, let's scroll up. Okay, so she keeps going on saying, sometimes it's more profitable to go with a lie than to look at the truth. Sadly, when views and clicks drive your income, the truth doesn't always matter to some people. I'm grateful to those that did believe in me and didn't just go with what was profitable. Yes, I believe it's possible some people did do this, though the majority of the people who are giving commentary and giving their opinion on what was going on, Emily, Nate, myself, I don't see any of us doing what we did for income. I cannot take it. I can't take that kind of opinion from someone like Katie, whose entire channel is based on the money she makes, and everything she discusses is relevant to, every decision is relevant to how much money it can pull in. I myself do not live off of my YouTube income. I'm a disabled veteran, and I live off of that income. YouTube is secondary. I think she's just, tossing shade because she feels, as you've seen in the past, it's her common behavior. Now that the court case is over, now she's emboldened, she's going crazy. Okay, she then says, I gave a shout out to Uncivil Law for his take on the lawsuit. I'd like to also state Nate Brody did a good job of sifting through the information to get to the heart of the issue while ignoring the noise. It's not easy to go against popular opinion. I do believe Emily did a good job too, and I believe all three of them did all right. Yeah. and Nate did great. For those of you that don't know, this may come as a shock to some of you, but Katie has used this tactic before of getting lawsuits against her for defamation thrown out due to jurisdictional reasons. In fact, the rumor is there's been 3 lawsuits against her, either thrown out or settled over jurisdiction, not continued. I can only find evidence of one other with Jilly Juice. This will take an entire video on its own, and I'm gonna do one on Jilly Juice and update you on what happened, because it is another lawsuit just like TATI WESTBROOK's against Without a Crystal Ball. And it does have to do with what I care about, which is YouTube, people giving their opinion, and not having to feel that giving their opinion would result in them being sued. I do understand that people do have to be protected from people's lies, from people digging into private information and exposing it, and therefore the process needs to exist. I will update you more in a future video, but I want to tell you that I have a theory for the TATI WESTBROOK case. And I've had it since the very beginning. But me, knowing Katie, seeing some of the things that she told me she did, I know that Katie tries to buddy up to people close to family members and celebrities in stories that she covers. It's how she gets contacts with people in reality TV, how she gets contacts in some other stories. I recall a conversation where she was telling me about a maid and that she got close to someone's maid on social media so she could try to gain information about stories she was covering. Now, I don't remember the full context of that conversation. It's been a long time, and this is when she was a smaller channel. But I do think that Katie has gained her reputation not just in the public eye, but behind the scenes with some of the people who she covers, like the Duggars, like the Westbrooks, like the reality TV stars. Amber Portwood and others do not like Katie and never have. And it's just been a constant thing that people will say that Katie goes too far and she cuts corners and does really unfair or unethical things to gain contacts so she can break stories and get information first. This isn't an accusation. TATI is trying to stand up for everybody out there who Katie has been doing this to. Why do I think that that is more possible than I may feel? Because if you remember the James Charles DMs I covered on this channel, James Charles reaching out to her, and TATI was really upset about how Katie had gotten in contact with someone close to James Charles. Well, we all know that story now. It was James Charles' mother. Now, this is something after hearing about other people that Katie has gotten into contact with on the outside of certain celebrity circles. Finding out that she was communicating with James Charles' mother like this really had me thinking that she is purposely going around trying to form these connections so that she can gain information in casual conversation that she has with these people. And I think that she burns those bridges, and once she uses them, telling you this is my opinion, so she better not, try to come at me crazy, that she tries to, once she gains the information that she needs, she burns those bridges and takes the things that she's gained from them as people that are just venting to her or, that might trust her for some reason, and then goes out and reports on the things that she's gained and says it's from a source. I can't tell you my source. And we hear that from her in almost every story she covers. When you start to target people's mothers, James Charles' mother, and you start to inject yourself into the social circles and private lives of people that you're covering like this, then I believe I respond with in a legal way, because of the negative feelings or because of the boundaries you've crossed. I believe TATI WESTBROOK is suing because Katie kept blasting these things out, knowing that it got her views and was creating this kind of mob against TATI. I have more to tell you, but I do want to wait and see what happens with the filing, if they're going to refile or not, whether the story's over. I know a lot of people believe she's going to refile in Minnesota against KJP. Whether that happens or not, I just care about when this story ends so that I can finally sum up everything in a video. So keep an eye out and I'll let you know. There are some other stories going on today, but this took too long, so I'm just going to end it here and I might upload later. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, or not. See you in the next one.